Welcome to the Nicholas 11x12 technology. Today we're looking at the AMD FX-9590 Vishera CPU. This currently is AMD's flagship model of their processor lineup. Before I move on, I'd like to thank Forticus, an amazing computer store and online shop, for providing me this product. The box is kept very simple and it's one of the smallest retail CPU boxes I've ever seen so far. That's because there's no stock cooler included, just the CPU alone. Inside the box, as always, is the manual and the CPU itself in that plastic protection case. Here it is, the AMD FX-9590 processor. But let's take a look at the specifications now. The AMD FX-9590 is an 8-core Vishera CPU that fits in the AM3 Plus socket. This processor has 8 cores and 8 threads. Its base clock is at 4.7 GHz and its turbo clock at amazingly high 5.0 GHz. And while we're speaking of high, the TDP of insane 220 watts is also high. If that's amazing, however, is a completely different question. The 32nm architecture is used and 8 MB of level 2 cache as well as 8 MB of level 3 cache is offered. This CPU supports DDR3 1866 memory natively. In CPU-Z, you can once again see all the specs. This FX-9590 has a fully unlocked multiplier. However, because it's clocked so high already, I doubt you'll be able to overclock to a higher frequency. But still, the possibility is there. It's just a matter of voltage and the cooler you're using. On to the benchmarking results. So there you have it. As you saw yourself, the FX9590 does perform, but to be honest, it's pretty much a factory overclocked FX8350. In many cases, I was able to compare it against my FX8350 that I once had, and I overclocked that one to 4.8 GHz. It turns out my 4.8 GHz overclock on the a lot cheaper FX8350 CPU is a lot better than the stock performance of this expensive FX9590. The price of the 9590 can be compared against the one on Intel's i7-4770K. The performance, no. In the more CPU demanding games, the FX CPUs really fall back behind the Intel i7 and i5 CPUs. And I was testing that with the GTX 780 graphics card. The temperatures are surprisingly low though. To be honest, I expected to see worse ones. The power consumption, however, is absolutely crazy. The FX9590 consumes more than double the power of the i7-4770K. So in simple words, I'm very disappointed with this processor. The FX8350 is still the way to go if you plan on going for an AMD CPU. The FX9590 just isn't worth this much money. Just overclock the FX8350 and you'll get better performance than with this really expensive FX9590. Pros are good performance, good temperatures, and the CPU supports high frequency memory. Unfortunately, there are some really heavy cons. Very bad price-performance ratio, and then there's also the extremely high power consumption. Therefore, I can give this AMD FX9590 processor only a 4 out of 10. I mean, the performance isn't that bad overall, but the price is insanely high. Once again, thanks to Fortecast for providing me this processor. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and visit nicholas11x12techx.com to see videos there earlier than on YouTube.